here's Brody Brazil.
I fully realize that some of you think I'm only doing this video because it is the A's in Sacramento. But I promise you, this scenario is so fascinating, it doesn't matter if it was the Royals, Rockies, Yankees, Marlins, Tigers, Diamondbacks, whatever you name it. It is so unique that any baseball team in the major leagues would charge like 2 and 3 times what everybody else is. But again, you rarely see a major league team playing for several seasons in a minor league ballpark. Yeah, the Athletics of Sacramento and maybe eventually Las Vegas, they're going to charge some very expensive prices for their tickets. And by the way, all of these numbers are coming from StubHub. These are tickets that you could buy right now. So I realize that StubHub prices change over time, maybe go up, maybe go down. But as of right now, these are the ticket prices at Sutter Health Park. Let's first address opening night. It's March 31st. It's against the Chicago Cubs. And you know these tickets are going to come at a pretty heavy value. The debut, the first ever night, everybody's curious, everybody wants to see it. But it is still kind of amazing that that is the cheapest seat right now, $969, section 103, row 11. So you can also see over here on this diagram that there are not a lot of sections opened up for ticket purchasing right now. But 103, according to StubHub, apparently is row 11, 2 tickets together, $969 each. That's the cheapest way in right now via StubHub. And then you can quickly see how it escalates down to about, or I should say up to about $1,356 each. I'm also noticing here kind of a trend that the tickets in 121 that are available, they're always a little bit more expensive. And I think it's because the sunnier side of the ballpark is over here versus the shadier side of the ballpark that's over there. So that's a look at the top 5 cheapest ticket options for the very first A's game in Sacramento. And maybe some of this, right, is to be expected. It's supply and demand, and it's kind of a spectacle. Here's what the most expensive tickets look like right now. $2,419 each. That gets you in the Governor's Club, 113 row 26. So 113.26, maybe here. I imagine if I'm doing that right, somewhere up there. Just kind of gives you an idea. You're behind home plate, but $2,500 a pop. Again, it's unique, and we're just exploring this one because it stands out, right? So we also need in this video to get past opening night. We need to find another date that's a little bit less conspicuous. So let's pick out April 24th. Still early in the season, still should be nice weather. This still should be a ticket that's in demand. It's a Thursday game against the Rangers. It's getaway day. So it's a 4-game series, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I doubt they'll be playing a day game because of the turf and maybe even the heat in Sacramento. I don't know. The times have not been announced yet. But Thursday against the Rangers. What's the cheapest way in? At this point, it's back in section 103, row 11, and it is still $200 each, $208 each. That's for 2 tickets together. And again, 103, row 11, so I'm guessing maybe right there. You're on the sunny side versus, again, if you want to be in the shade, 121, row 11, you're going to pay a little bit more of a premium, about $40-50 more. And again, I'm assuming, this is also the home team side, so it's the side the A's sit on, but the A's sit on that side, and the River Cats do for a reason. It's because the sun absolutely comes this direction right here. I should have been more clear with that before. Here, let's do it in orange. The sun hits you that way, and the shadier part of the ballpark is right over here. So anyway, that's a look at the cheapest tickets against the Texas Rangers, and it doesn't actually escalate as much here. You can be in the Governor's Club, 119, row 14. I guess that's somewhere right around there for $290. So these are the 5 cheapest ticket options, again, right now on StubHub. And the most expensive option is substantially more, but it's only double what maybe some of the cheapest options are. 113 row 26, so again, right up there, $516 each. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, I'm somebody who works in media, and I don't go to a lot of games as a fan. So some of these ticket prices I'm just numb to because I'm not in that mix. I'm not in that fold. I'm not here to say, oh, I go to the games for free, but I'm usually working at the game, so I'm not buying tickets necessarily. I'm not in that mode. I realize for an NFL game, maybe some of these prices are accurate. Maybe for a great NBA matchup, if you want to see one of your favorite teams, maybe these aren't far off from, football or basketball games or hockey games, I don't know, in Canada especially, but for a baseball game when they play 81 times a year, I'll show you the 2024 MLB ticket averages, or is it 23, in just a second, so you can get kind of a grasp on what everybody else is charging. Okay, May 9th, Friday against the New York Yankees. Here's what ticket prices look like. By the way, the Dodgers, they do not visit Sacramento in 2025, but the Yankees do, and so this was kind of that closest thing I could do to relate. Okay, what does a big time opponent bring in terms of what ticket prices are? $486 each. Again, 103 row 11. They are really trying to sell those tickets hard. But again, maybe these are the only ones right now open and available for purchase on StubHub. And it goes up pretty quickly here. It goes from $486 to $679 pretty quick. You can see different sections here. 103, 106 is also on there. I see 119. So scattered around the ballpark. And again, there's only 10,000 physical seats here. Gives you an interesting understanding of supply and demand. These are the 5 most expensive options. So if you really want to see Aaron Judge hit a home run at Sutter Health Park, or a few, $1,221 right now is the most expensive ticket. And it says last tickets remaining right here in the Governor's Club, 115. Now, I don't know what other perks that gets you. Maybe this ticket. Maybe I should also disclose this. Maybe it comes with parking, and maybe it comes with some food if you're in that Governor's Club. All of these tickets are in the Governor's Club. I don't know what that means actually, but it just gives you an idea of what the cost of entry would be against the Yankees. Okay, how about 4th of July? Now, again, this would be a headlining type game and event. 4th of July against the Giants. They got to do a night game, right? It's a Friday night? Yeah, of course. Well, obviously. But I would have to think that if it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series, Saturday and Sunday might also both have to be night games in July in Sacramento. So this one actually comes in lower than I expected. And I say this because you might have a lot of Giants fans that want to see their team play a road game, kind of like they always did coming to the Coliseum, but only $486. Only, I say. It quickly goes up to $679. So a lot of these prices are pretty structured. Is that probably the best way to say it? These are, now that you understand how high the prices are, you can kind of see the structure of how they go. And very quickly up to, the 5 most expensive options, anywhere from $969 up to $1,211 each. I know, but that's the other thing about it, right? We're not saying this is for 2 tickets or this is for 4 tickets. We're saying each. So like you and your family of 4, let's just say you wanted to do, these tickets right here, that is like $4,000 just for the tickets. Just for the tickets. If you want to see the 2025 Athletics, I'm trying so hard not to say Sacramento. If you want to see the Athletics in 2025, it's cheaper to watch them play at Oracle Park or fly down to Los Angeles or fly up to Seattle. Going to games in Sacramento at this point are an interesting proposition. So here are the average prices of 2024. We are nowhere close. Now, these are the average prices. So I showed you the low and I showed you the high. Understand that some of the average prices for A's games in Sacramento right now are in the $500 range. And we're talking about the Phillies being the most expensive ticket in Major League Baseball right now by a little significant amount. Hey, look, they're a playoff team. They got Bryce Harper. They're a very popular ticket in town. $77 is the average right now, which is still, I think most people would say that's kind of expensive. The A's of 2024, and they have obviously raised their prices in recent years, $35. So to go from $35 to, again, $500, there are some things to talk about here. We'll get to our takeaways in just a second, but I want you to see that, also I should point out, these are resale ticket values. So we might be talking a little bit about apples and oranges when it comes to face value, original purchase, season ticket price versus resale ticket, but this gives you an idea of what people are paying to get in to an average Major League Baseball game across the country. And you know what? The other thing is, these are the teams you would expect, right? The Phillies are a good team. The Dodgers are in LA, Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, the Yankees, and actually, the Giants coming in with a team that's a little bit less than 500 this year and didn't make the playoffs. They're still coming in at a pretty expensive price, although the ballpark, the atmosphere, the experience, still pretty good. So, gives you an idea of when we talked about those numbers earlier, how high they were. Like, this is the comparison, and that's why I'm making this video. When you are coming in 3, 4, 5 times higher than everybody else, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So here are my takeaways. Number one, supply and demand are real. And when you hear about Sutter Health Park, former Rayleigh Field, seating about 14,000, the truth is there's 10,000 seats, and they can have 4,000 people sit on that hill in right field on the grass. So 10,000 seats is where they're going to make most of their money. But here's the catch. Here's the trick. They are capped at that limit for multiple years ahead. And you know all the teams that get 27,000, or if you're the Dodgers, 54,000, or all those high numbers, even the A's in their final game at the Coliseum, like basically 50,000. The A's can't do that in Sacramento. They are hard capped. Why did I do a dollar sign? They are hard capped at 10,000 every single game. And so they can't have the nights where the Yankees come in and they double the amount of seats there and they double their fans. They have a hard cap. They can never benefit from a crowd of 29,000. They just cannot do it. They are limited in how much they can make, and not only ticket price and attendance, but how many cars have to park there, how many people buy merchandise at the stadium, how many people buy concessions at the stadium. They are very limited on site with how much money they can make. And this is also an A's team that desperately, like any other business, like we shouldn't make this unique to them, but they're desperately trying to make money right now for a new ballpark and a roster of players that they're, I guess, hoping to keep. If your payroll is somewhere around $60 million right now and it needs to be $90 million in a year or two, 2026, there's going to be a lot of arbitration eligible players. How do you get that money from your product? Some other things are fixed in terms of revenue deals and sponsors, but tickets and fans, you are hard capped at what you can make income-wise. And like I said, if you think the tickets are expensive, like what do you think is going to happen to the food and merchandise costs if they know they're limited on, like there's an upper limit? Like at the Coliseum, you'd think, wow, I mean, if you get 47,000 for a few games, you can really max out on those games, on those, the gate, as they call it. You can max out, but you cannot do that in Sacramento. And again, all of this coming at a time where like they kind of need it to function, to grow, and to do what they say they're going to do. So again, I made this video because it's unique. I realize the history, personally, me, the A's, and the situation in Sacramento, but this would be interesting no matter what team is doing it across the country. And in this case, there's a lot of questions to still be answered about how this is going to go. And I'll tell you this, if the A's get to a point where this is dangerous, because if you start not selling out games in your first year or two, and the other thing is, how's this going to go in year two? Maybe a lot of people will be willing to pay that high dollar amount for the first year. Like they just want to get in, they want to see what it's all about. Maybe they do have that type of money. But how about year 2 and 3 and potentially 4? Are they still willing to pay those prices? And what if the team is, I don't know, maybe good, maybe bad, maybe marginal, maybe middle of the road? Does that play into it? But if you don't sell out games in a 10,000 physical seat stadium and you're new there and you're trying to make a splash, that doesn't go over well. They're almost forced to have to sell out every game to make it look good. And at those prices, I don't know how it's going to go. You made it here to the end of this video. Let me know what you think how this is going to go in the comments section below. Also, thumbs up while you're down there. That'll greatly help me, this channel, and this video. I would like that, but I would also love it if you just take 1 second real quick. Make sure that down there you are also subscribed to this channel. That way I definitely get to see you back here next time.